So to talk about that, please welcome our first startup page, Carlos Ribeiro, CEO of Coalex.
So, AI, as promised, every business leader in this room, a 10x increase on productivity. But even in software development, where the AI tools are most advanced, the average productivity enhancement is 10%. Not 10x, but 10%. And this is after more than $30 billion have been deployed, with 95% of enterprise AI pilots delivering zero measurable returns. When even the most successful companies describe this as the Wild West, we know that this is a trust issue. The same trust issue we had with e-commerce before PayPal and others created a trust layer that allows us to put our credit cards online safely. So we built Coalex. Think of Coalex as a know your agent platform. We track everything your agents are doing, we protect the risky decisions, and this creates trust data that's available both in our dashboard, in your AI copilot of choice. And this creates a flywheel. Every governed decision means better data means less risk. And it's by measuring that risk that we are able to offer the insurance that limits the liability your company faces when AI makes wrong decisions. We have been incubated in the top incubator programs both in Portugal and Spain, which has unlocked us access to the largest Portuguese insurer and the largest private health tech provider. We are also live with 4 other companies spanning from pharma to financial services. Gartner says that this market is set to be $15 billion by 2030, and this is without the insurance layer on top. We price per agent, we scale up with usage, but we also scale down win-win with the risk while the risk decreases. We have raised 300,000 euros through business angels and grants, and we are on target to reach 250K for the end of this year. Our team is our unfair advantage. I've been building AI to production for the past 10 years, and I've scaled Talkdesk AI unit from 0 to 100 engineers in Coimbra for a fraction of the cost of their US or even European peers. Our team knows enterprise buyers, regulatory pressure, and how to scale. Towards the end of the year, we'll be raising a round of 1 million. So if you want to be part of building the trust layer that will unlock the real AI transformation, the AI transformation that doesn't keep you awake at night, let me know. Thank you.
There we go. Right on time. Very good. Good job. Okay, judges, questions for Carlos, please. Who wants to be the first one? Not all at the same time, please. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. I would like to know, how do you compare against your competitors? I mean, what's differential about your technology?
Yeah, a couple of things. So we are a real-time platform. Most of the competitors that are on the compliance side, they do an evaluation, and then you get compliant for X amount of time. We believe that in AI, that's not possible. That could be possible in infrastructure where things remain the same, but on a probabilistic event, you can have like a certified infrastructure, but your AI can hallucinate on top. So we are real-time, and we are this one-stop shop that includes regulation as code for the compliance, human in the loop, evals, governance, observability, everything your AI needs, and we can deliver that both to your developers, so the same 3 layers of defense that the financial services are used to, the business units, the DPOs, and the auditors. We serve all these 3 personas in one platform.
Okay.
Thank you.
Another question, judges? That side? Yes? No? No? Yes? Alex, you want to? There you go.
Yeah.
Hi, thank you. Do you think the market is mature enough?
Yeah, that's a great question. We were discussing that just before. We started, the concept started 12 months ago. The platform actually started to be built in February. And I think 12 months ago, nobody really understood. Everybody was so into the hype that nobody is asking the real question, what happens when this goes wrong? because it will. This is probabilistic, so there's no such thing as zero risk. We can mitigate the risk, we can insure on top of the mitigation, but bad things will happen, and we are here to sell for the ones that don't want these bad things to happen in their systems.
Okay, and with this, please, big round of applause for Carlos. Obrigado. Okay, thank you very much. And now we're flying all the way to the UK to keep talking about trustworthy and the protection of information. There's one thing that is always very fascinating, which is to run a good AI system, even if you want to adjust the AI system, you need access to information. Information, as you've heard, is the new oil. However, when you're dealing with large corporations or sensitive information, suddenly it becomes much harder to train your systems with that information, because that information is highly protected, highly regulated. So how do you actually fine-tune your models? How do you fine-tune your agents with information that is extremely sensitive? So precisely to talk about how we play with not the data, but with the metadata on top of that. How do we federate that? How do we employ sovereign information and still unlock the capacity of our AI systems? Our next startup, so please welcome our next pitcher, Adam Millward, CEO at Metadata Works.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Adam. I'm CEO of Metadata Works, and our vision is to be the catalyst for data-driven innovation for public good. Is anyone in the audience excited about AI? I know I am. Yay! Well, there are three things we need for AI. We need compute, we need algorithms, and we need data. Compute, readily available in the cloud for most projects. Algorithms, they're accessible. Data is the big constraint on most projects at the moment. And Europe's most strategic data, healthcare, government, R&D, is exactly what innovators cannot access at the moment. Why? Privacy, security, and sovereignty. It's the bind that every public sector client has. If you share the data, you break privacy. If you move it badly, you don't get innovation. And we're not the only ones to spot this. 30 billion has been committed in the EU and the UK already, things like the European Health Data Spaces, things like the UK National Data Library, and there's 100 billion coming on in adjacent markets. And for the last 5 years, we've been productizing the federated layer that makes this work, solving these problems, extracting and enriching metadata, making it discoverable, and managing data access. The data never moves, but the innovation does. We're not selling AI, we're selling the substrate that AI uses, the data catalog, the ontology, the access workflows, the full data to impact lifecycle. We're selling the metadata, and it works. And you don't have to take my word for it. At the Office for National Statistics, in the last 7 months, we've tripled the number of research applications, reduced data access processing time by over 50%, and freed up a sixth of their workforce to work on other relevant activities. And we're not a one-trick pony. We've tripled data enablement for the IPCC, and we've had 3 firsts in the UK. We've launched the UK's health data catalogue, the UK's administrative data catalogue, and the UK's smart data catalogue as well. We've got a proven model. We target public sector and regulated industries. We hit 1.4 million in revenues in 2025. We've got 7 million in the pipeline already with deals in the UK, Portugal, and Singapore right at the end of the cycle, valued at over 1 million. And we've got 3 advantages no incumbent does. We're public-facing by design. We're not a catalogue for internal data engineers. We've got layered access, everything from public preview all the way up to secure data access, and we're built on open standards, something that in Europe is incredibly important, thinking about things like portability. I'm very lucky with a brilliant team with experience from Oxford University, NATO, 100,000 Genomes project, Amazon, and a 3 times exited founder as our chairman as well. So what are we looking for? We're looking for 2.2 million to scale our proven platform. We're going to invest that in technology, we're going to move beyond founder-led sales, and we're going to establish a full European footprint. Thank you very much.
Big applause to Adam. Thank you very much. When I say I'm sharp, I'm sharp.
That's cool. No.
Okay, questions for Adam, please. Come on here. Any questions? There we go.
The type of data you are using is it's very secure. It's very highly regulated. How can you scale this solution, and what makes you the trust partner for governments to open up that data and give it to you?
I think we've built up organizational knowledge over the last 15 years on how to do this really, really safely. The nice thing about metadata is a lot of it isn't actually sensitive. So what you can do is you can extract that metadata in a safe way, load it into a knowledge graph, which we've been building with the public sector for the last 15 years, even before we started this company, and then make it discoverable. So we've got that experience. You know, we're working with the ONS SRS, we're working with the NHS, we're working with all of these organizations. So we know how to do it.
Okay. Any other question, judges? There you go, Luis.
Yes, related to that, and thank you very much for the pitch. Given the sensitivity of the data, how do you manage your infrastructure? And I mean, do you own your infrastructure, build it, partner? So how exactly do you manage the infrastructure side?
It's a good question. Our clients tend to have their own secure infrastructure, so we're plugging into existing infrastructure on the cloud, and often we'll have two different environments. We'll have a public environment that can speak to a secure environment, and we'll have our solution on both. So we're plugging into existing infrastructure that they've already got set up, so they don't have to move the data. That's the whole thing. You don't have to move the data. The metadata does it for you.
Okay, very good. With this, thank you very much. Big applause for that. Thank you very much. Okay, now we're flying to Spain to talk about something related to supply chains, which is very interesting. You know, when someone goes like, oh, we need to do traceability, it's like, how are you going to do that? It's not easy. And the more complex the supply lines, the harder it is to acquire traceability. If there's one industry where this is particularly hard, I mean, there's several ones, mining being one of them, for example, automobile and things like that. But the other that comes up every single time is textile. So how do we have the traceability from the farm where we get the cotton, the producing, the selling, and the recycling and the recovering of this stuff? Well, to talk about how to build that data layer that actually shares data amongst the whole supply chain of the textile industry, please welcome our next speaker. As I said, from Spain, co-founder and CEO of Micelio Data, Marcos Stanojevic.
Summit. Micelio Data is building world's first textile data space. But before we get into it, let me introduce my shirt. The label says it was made in Bangladesh, and that's partially true. It was sewn there. But it doesn't tell you anything that happened before. The cotton that was grown in South Africa, yarn that was spun in India, it was assembled in Dhaka before being shipped to Madrid. And despite a mountain of integrations, the textile supply chain today is essentially in the dark. But the European Union is turning on the lights. Confluence of regulation is coming in the next few years. Digital product passports are going to be mandatory from 2028, requiring machine-readable, verified data. 200,000 European brands will have legal liability, but all the data sits in the supply chains. And less than 20% is available in the upstream tiers. So how do you get a factory in Dhaka with no IT department to share structured compliance data? Well, you go where the data lives. So we went there, and we built MIA, Micelio Integration Agent. Spreadsheets, mobile uploads, ERP systems, it connects to all. The semantic engine translates the data, and it requires no technical expertise. Once the data is captured, it's not uploaded to our database. We're the neutral infrastructure, federated, sovereign. The factory in Dhaka controls who they share their data with and on what terms. A brand in Madrid gets verified compliance data, but it goes beyond the brands. It goes to municipalities, sorters, recyclers. One connection gives you many use cases. And recent study of the tools in this space shows that they're all brand-oriented, top-down, building walled gardens, right? More complexity, more silos, more audit fatigue. Micelio is building from the bottom up, suppliers first. Our partners are industry titans. Over 3% of exports in Bangladesh, all the global brands we know and love are their customers. TRL5 validated with real production data. Business model is simple, suppliers are free, brands have monthly payments in 4 tiers depending on their side. Simple, transparent, no lock-ins. Our addressable market is 2 billion for the 200,000 brands. SAM is 3,500 brands producing in Bangladesh and Turkey, and we expect to onboard 150 of them by year 3. Our big milestone for this year is to get the first brand pilots, next year to get on Spain's trusted data space, and to get commercially operational in 2028. We're raising seed round, 1.95 million for go-to-market and technology development, and the team that is building this platform for that every voice in the textile supply chain can finally talk to each other. Thank you.
Okay. I can see you've trained this. You see, he comes, Luis, he comes from IE. We've trained him well. You know, he managed. Okay, judges, questions, please.
So thank you for the presentation. 2 questions. What's the go-to-market for reaching the brands? And if you can go deeper into the technology, what you are building, what is the moat beyond the...
Yeah. So go-to-market is gone to the global brands kind of individually. We already had 2 big ones in our event in Bangladesh in April. So we're starting to show them that their suppliers are already on our platform. And what differentiates us from the standard SAS is that we don't have a central database. It's a federated system where the data providers control what their data use. We just give the framework and the rule book. So that's our moat would be that it's not a walled garden. It's built on open standards, and once you connect to the data space, you can share your data with everyone that's already there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other question, judges? All good? No? Okay. Well, then, you did a good job. Big applause
Thank
to Michael. Thank you very much. And, you know, if I'm going to say something pretty obvious, but AI is revolutioning and changing a lot of different industries. But with each industry, the speed at which you have the adoption of AI at the core keeps changing. And one of those that it's touching is anything that has to do with paperwork and compliance, right? And compliance is boring. It's slow. It's expensive. So the question is, how can we actually deploy AI, being AI native first, in the compliance world? But this is the key. I don't know if you've actually seen this. A lot of people that are deploying AI on different verticals, they are not professionals from those verticals in general. It's outsiders kind of disrupting the inside. What happens if you actually get the compliance experts to actually build something with AI for themselves? Well, something faster, more efficient, cheaper, and more powerful. And to talk about that, please welcome our next startup, all the way from France, Jean-Christian Lemeur, founder and CEO at Naltelia.
Hi, I'm Jean-Christian Lemeur, so CEO and founder of Naltelia. Anti-corruption, money laundering, antitrust, GDPR, and now the AI Act. Compliance is not optional, but the way we do it is broken. It's costly, it's complex, it's time-consuming, it's boring. Every compliant officer spends more than 1,000 hours a year managing data, but not managing compliance. This means more than 100,000 euros for a mid-sized company, more than 10 million euros in a large corporate. I know it because we have been managing compliance for more than 20 years. My co-founder, Irache Gopeg, is a compliance lawyer. She led the investigation that produced the highest fine ever for non-compliance to a Spanish company. This is still the record today. She then founded her own compliance law firm. And then we founded Naltelia. Naltelia means compliance in Aztec, the Nahuatl language in Mexico. Why? Because the idea emerged in Mexico, where I was leading AI and data of AXA. The idea came reality while we were incubated in BNP Paribas Accelerator in Paris. What is Naltelia? Naltelia is the first AI native platform and operating system for compliance teams. You just need to upload your compliance handbook, and Naltelia agents do all the job. They detect and they assess compliance risk. They draft the controls to avoid risk. They monitor compliance in real time and do all the reports for the auditors. What makes Naltia so unique? Naltia builds the whole end-to-end workflow for compliance officers. And our AI agents do all the job. They execute with traceability and explainability all the time. And at the end, the human expert decides, which is important. Today available in anti-corruption, money laundering, antitrust, and compliance penal, which is the framework used in Spain and all Latin America. The result? Naltia reduces time to compliance in companies by 70% and cost 40%, while increasing control. What is interesting here is that Naltia is addressing two main markets. Obviously, the compliance software, but also compliance services. Compliance and consultants are converging thanks to AI, and Naltia is addressing this. Lawyers and compliance and consultants have the expertise, yes, but they can't scale. Legacy compliance software have the workflow, but they still need a human to do all the heavy job. ChatGPT can produce a lot of wonderful text on anti-corruption.
Jean-Christian, we're out of time.
But compliance is not sorry. But compliance is not a text generation problem. It's it's a judgment problem. So where we are now, we are.
One phrase. Come on, close it up.
So thank you very much for your attention. So happy to discuss and make a demo to all your companies present here.
Thank you. Sorry, I have to. No, stay with us. Sorry, I have to be the evil guy, okay? But you know, it's part of the job. Questions? There we go.
Thank you for presentation. I have a question. Are you planning to do the go-to-market by verticals or sectors? I don't know, energy, fintech, whatever, in order to focus the market efforts? And can you explain a little bit more about the product? Do you collect or scrap different data points about regulation and you put all the information into a platform?
So our go-to-market, I talk about convergence between consultancy and AI. What we did, since we have a compliance lawyer in our team, we sold the complete compliance mission mandate to 6 design partners, so 6 mid-cap companies that bought the complete mandate, and we delivered the mission starting with a POC, and while we were delivering the mission, we were building the POC, the service, while building our solution. Because we have a lawyer that does the missing part. And now we have the complete solution for mid-sized companies.
Okay, another question, judges? There we go.
As you said, at the end of the day, this is a judgment issue, right? So, so you will still need, at the end of the day, someone to sign up on everything that this agent does. So my question is, how do you mitigate that or reduce that time, and what prevents you from uploading your compliance manual and everything to Claude and giving you the same answer?
So when a judge or an auditor assesses a company and assesses whether or not they infringe something, they will ask, did you know? They will ask, what did you do in the past to avoid that? So what Naltia does is that not only it detects the risk and proposes the control to reduce the risk, but also gives all the traceability and explanation of what they assess and what they propose to the human to implement in the company. So all the traceability and the explanation, which is produced by our AI agents, is available on our software, and then can just, at the end, the human just needs to improve or to validate. But at the end, there is a lot of time which is reduced just by looking for the information, answering to the questions, and explaining why the risk is 5, why the risk is 4, and why the company did that.
Good? Okay, big applause for him. Thank you, Jean-Christian. Okay, now we are flying I honestly, I just had this really, really crazy conversation. It's a startup from Spain, but it's from Galicia. So I asked, are you from Coruña? They said like, no. We're in a village, tiny village. I'm like, okay, it suits you. Doing amazing stuff. If you haven't guessed by now, it has to do with this. Who likes wine here, please? Raise your hand. Okay, good. Those of you that don't like wine, you can leave now. The rest, how many of you actually know how wine is made? Have you actually seen how the distillery or winemaker actually works? Yeah? Doesn't it feel sometimes very medieval? Like it feels like we're using techniques from, from the 700s or something like that. Well, that's about to change. And it's about to change because if you don't control certain things, you can destroy the quality of the wine. That translates to less money, that translates to more taxes. And precisely to talk about how we prevent that from happening, we have our next startup. So please welcome on stage, Lara Neira, CEO at Nigal.
Hello. In Spain, people say that words are gone with the wind, but it's not the only thing that is gone. In wineries, up to 10% of the wine that remains into the barrels during the maturing process is evaporated annually. Due to the lack of an efficient wine maturing control system that leads to the evaporation losses, to the intrusion of bacteria, that is wine deterioration, high maintenance and energy costs, and a lack of traceability and standardization. That's why from Nigal we launched Libatio, a monitoring control system compound of a smart bank and a wet platform to control the quality and the volume of the wine in real time. The bank connects to the platform via IoT. The platform hosts the AI models to predict the volume, and everything in a secure and an intuitive UI. In our clients, we could test that we save 66% of the evaporation losses by 60% of the time in the low-value tasks. We improve quality as we detect deviations. We reduce by 20% the energy costs in the refrigeration systems, which leads to a reduction of 90 kilograms per CO2 of the carbon footprint during the wine production. We are not the only ones, but we are the only Spaniards and the only ones who apply AI to predict the volume and the quality and optimize the wine production. The business model is so simple. First, pay for the hardware, for the smart bank, and then an annual subscription for the platform, software as a service. It's important to say that we are in Galicia, La Rioja, Andalucía, and Catalonia, and in Mexico. So our market size is so huge, it's more than 1.5 billion, as the bank can be in any barrel, in any winery, in any distillery, in any place around the world. The market is increasing, the interest in the market. Our interest of Libatio is increasing and increasing. And it's important to say as well that we have won different awards and prizes during our history. All of this with all of these founders. Lara Neira, PhD in AI by the University of Edinburgh, Adrián Rodríguez, PhD in Applied Maths, experts in marketing and experts in computer science. It's important to say that we also have developed another AI solutions and another data tech solutions to help people in their day-to-day life and be more sustainable, to positively contribute to the Green Deal. Thank you so much, and I hope that today my words are not gone with the wind.
That was fast. Okay, questions, please? Except trying the wine? That's out of the question, sorry.
No, that's fine. Thank you for your presentation. And trying the wine would be nice afterwards. But I was wondering, it's okay that you use AI, but do you need to use AI to solve the optimization problem for the wine production?
We use applied models. We don't usually, we use AI and applied maths. Applied maths for the volume, and for the quality, also AI. Why? Because we predict the key value the Q value factors from the wine, like humidity, pressure, and it's quite important for the enologists, and they have the knowledge to know if the quality improves or not. And the future prediction, we do it with AI models. Did I answer the question?
Okay, any other question, judges? There we go.
Thank you very much. So you are reducing cost for the wineries. So which type of cost? The amount in terms of 1 million of cost you are reducing 60% or what exactly?
Oh, it's important. Yeah, good question. So we have to think that in Spain there are huge wineries and small wineries. The median, for example, in La Rioja, is, or in Spain in general, is 10,000 barrels. You have to think that if we reduce 66, but if we reduce only 10% that we reduce 66, we could save 20,000 euros per year. But we are reducing more. So imagine we are reducing more than 60,000 euros for this kind of wineries.
Okay. Okay, very good. Well, big applause to Lara. Thank you so much, Lara. Pleasure having you. Yes, yes. So, this will move on its own. Don't worry about it. Okay, so now we're staying here in Spain, but we are keeping on with the theme of compliance. And I'm a big tea fan. And you know, tea comes from China. So I import tea from China. And if you ever imported anything from China or any kind of country that's not within the EU, it's a pain in the ass. It's very complex. Things come in crazy languages. Even myself, I know Chinese. And even in my case, I read the Chinese descriptions of the manifest and you go like, no, that's not what it says. Now, if you import like me, you can lose a couple of grand on the import if you screw up the compliance there. If you're a big importer, any error on the compliance, on bringing things through the border, it's millions. So precisely, to do automatic compliance work for the trade infrastructure for cross-border supply chains, please welcome our next startup, Marina Kanaeva, CEO of Riskita.
Look at the screen. This is a typical product description on a marketplace. Okay, I will give it in English. Just a random set of words. Can you guess what products are these? Well, I will not wait because I have only 3 minutes. It was not an easy exercise, right? And it's not easy for a carrier or importer. But imagine that carriers and importers have to deal with such files like this every single day with millions of lines. And they have to identify exactly what product categories it is. And now it comes harder because every port of entry has its own set of rules. And it would be very easy if everything was flying from Hong Kong to Leipzig. But in reality, goods are traveling from everywhere to everywhere. Europe alone creates 1,000 regulatory compliance combinations. And behind this, a person with an Excel spreadsheet with error-prone processes. This causes to retailers, importers, and logistics suppliers huge delays, penalties, and overpaid duties. My name is Marina, and I'm CEO and co-founder of Riskita, and we're building AI trade infrastructure to solve this problem. Every year, the industry spends 9 billion on manual compliance, and it's increasing because of regulatory pressure. This is our platform. As an input, we upload sellers' inconsistent data, and our AI cleans, corrects it, classifies every single product, and detects prohibited, restricted, and dangerous goods. Days of manual work solved in minutes, 100 times cheaper, and accuracy is consistent. So AI classifiers, they hallucinate on scale, and legacy players, they are too rigid to keep up with regulations. Unlike other competitors, Riskita is consistently accurate at scale, and we can adapt to new regulation changes in days. We charge from 15 to 150,000 euro per year, depending on volume tier. We reach our customers on industry events, direct sales, and in LinkedIn. Our team is perfectly matched for this. I built a cross-border commerce and raised it to 5 million, and Kaya is an architect of a Riskita classification system. We are raising 500K to reach 3 million recurrent revenue. And we have 3 enterprise customers to do this. Yes, thank you.
Okay, big applause, please. Thank you, Marina. Okay, questions, please, over there, very quickly.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Very interesting. How do you prove the accuracy of your system to your clients when you first encounter them?
Yeah, we prove it with different experiments, and we also take the data sets of our customers and check how would they do this manually, and also check with different models which we have to double check our main machine.
Okay, 你的问题很好. Good question. Luis.
Thank you very much. Compliance is very much industry-led and constituency-led. So to what extent, or what are the industries that you cover, the geographies that you cover, and how do you face the scalability challenge based on this very wide coverage that you need to make to cover all the industrial products?
Can you repeat the question itself?
Yeah, I mean, you do the compliance for industrial products, or to what extent do you cover, which industries are you covering currently, and which constituencies, which geographies? Because those require different regulatory approaches. Yeah.
I got you. The main customers are importers who are importing goods from all over the world to European Union. This is our key destination region right now. But in future, we are targeting to go to Latin America, where it's quite complex with compliance in e-commerce, and other regions.
Okay, with this, big applause to Marina.
Thank
you very much. Okay, we're staying also in Spain, and let me tell you the truth. Most of our current cryptography is nearly broken. So whoever is not using post-quantum cryptography on their things, you're doing it wrong. That's the first thing I need to tell you. Second thing is that passwords are démodé. We don't use passwords anymore. We want passwordless systems. We cannot remember everything, and we have too many systems. And precisely to explain, how do we do both? How do we do passwordless systems with post-quantum cryptography? Please welcome our next startup. Big applause to Gerard Cervelló, CEO at Secret Vault.
Thank you, Alex. You saved me 3 minutes from my pitch with your explanation. Let's start with a quick quiz. Raise your hand if you forgot a password last week. Last month. It's normal. Passwords have been with us for many years, and they are used in many systems because they are cheap and they work everywhere. But their fragility brings a huge financial cost in terms of security and operations. They tend to be usable, but not any longer. And in the quantum age, it's becoming even worse. So alternatives do exist. Solutions have fixed several of these problems, but they bring new challenges in cost, usability, compatibility, and operations. So they end becoming a partial solution to the problem. And they will need to be migrated to the new cryptographic algorithms in the coming years. Our unique approach, we have developed a new technology that basically works everywhere, is compatible with legacy systems, and is very simple to use by combining an image with post-quantum security. And this is not just a new tool. This is a transformational technology that can be applied in many use cases. We have started with 2 use cases. The first one is identity and access management. Imagine that you could reduce your account takeovers, your help desk costs, by allowing your employees to use images as authentication factors from any device with multiple combinations, leveraging your current investment in this area. Or imagine that you could protect and share your most sensitive information like intellectual property, disaster recovery plans, master passwords, using an image as a key, with the capacity that only the intended person can access this information. These two verticals are two pillars in cybersecurity industry. They are growing at 2 digits for the next coming 10 years. And currently our market is mainly Europe. We are serving medium to large size organizations, typically through IT integrators, and recently through an agreement with Microsoft. The founding team brings 30 years of experience in cryptography, cybersecurity, and startups. The two co-founders were part of Side, the internet voting company. We became 600 people. We raised 160 million. Later, I became COO at Blueleaf, a company that I helped to grow and to sell a few years ago. And Jordi, who is around here, is an expert in cryptography with 50 patents and 60 scientific papers. After 24 months since inception and 10 months of commercial activity, we have launched 2 products, filed 2 patents, become a team of 10 people, signed our first customers, and raised 900,000 euros from different investors. So we have made post-quantum security practical today. We are ready for the tsunami that is forming. We are looking to expand our operations with new customers and partners, so if you are interested, happy to see you at our booth, and you will get our alien if you come to see us, okay? Thank you.
Big applause to Gerard. Thank you very much. Okay, bring your alien here with me. Okay, questions for Gerard. Okay, Jorge.
So thank you for the presentation, Gerard. My first question is about the go-to-market. I've seen you have 20 clients right now.
Yes.
What's the value proposition that they are buying in a pre-quantum era with a post-quantum company?
No, the value we are fixing them different problems pre-quantum. We are giving them in the identity and access management, we are helping them to protect or improve how certain types of employees access the system, because the current solutions, they have a lot of issues and limitations in security, in operations, and in cost. On the second part, we are giving companies a way to protect very sensitive information for today and for 10 years and for 20 years already today, which is a risk of post-quantum.
If I can, how are you going to sustain your competitive advantage in the long run?
There are different ways. We are sustaining it because of the intellectual property. We have 2 patents filed, which we have already very good initial feedback from the evaluators. We have 15 months of investment in creating the technology, and we are achieving a distribution network that is becoming very big with large integrators like NTT, Inetum, IC Consult, and now with Microsoft.
Okay. Any other super quick question? No? Okay, Gerard?
Thank you.
Big applause for you. Thank you very much. I could see Andy taking pictures there. Lumo is interested. This is good. Okay, so you know what they say now, AI is changing everything, and when it comes to cybersecurity, AI is going to be the super tool for cybersecurity. Well, I'm going to introduce you to the next startup that actually believes the opposite. It's like the human in the loop still matters a lot when you're doing offensive hacking, when you're doing ethical hacking. And to demonstrate that, we have our next startup. So please welcome, all the way from Spain, Javier Juarez, CEO and co-founder at Securo.
Hello. Today I'm here to tell you how to protect your business from hackers. It's easy. You just need to invite the right hackers to do it first. We are Securo, a platform that connects businesses with verified ethical hackers that find security breaches before attackers do. Companies tell us what they want to protect, and we then connect them with ethical hackers that, in a secure and verified manner, test them whenever they want. We then validate the vulnerabilities, prioritize them according to their severity, and deliver easy, clear to understand reports so companies can solve them in time. Because everything in cybersecurity is time. Time to market, like in startups. Imagine if the systems enabling this presentation were to fail right now. It would be awkward, right? But if this happens and the checkout of a fintech platform in a health app or on a public administration, at that point we are no longer talking about a technical glitch, we are talking about financial losses, loss of reputation,
Como
and
los
on
micrófonos de allá,
the brand as
no,
well.
le quitas la pinza y te lo...
Cybersecurity today still relies on 70% of the market on traditional consultancy firms, with slow processes, one-off audits, and weeks of work that ends on a PDF that becomes obsolete almost when it's delivered. Because at the moment, companies no longer operate like that. They ship to production new code every day, every week, new products are deployed into the market, and cybersecurity and attackers don't wait for your next audit. That's why our network of 1,500 ethical hackers checks your system daily. Yes, we have hackers testing you daily, and you only paid for verified and valid vulnerabilities, making the traditional model that is one-off into a continuous model the whole year. We started the company in November 2024 with 3,000 euros on share capital and no upfront investment. At the moment, we have achieved 1 million in turnover in just 19 months, showing that we are on a clear market that we are here to take, a market of the offensive cybersecurity. And yes, AI will impact the business, but our hackers are faster than that. At the moment, we are a team of 12 people at Securo, 1,500 ethical hackers, as I told you before, and we have more than 100 companies with us, where we find an average of 15 vulnerabilities per company. Because hackers are already out there. You just need to make them play on your team. Thank you for listening. If you want to talk with us, we are at the stand of Cámara de Comercio the 3 days. Thanks.
Thank you, Javier. This is the guy you don't want to piss, by the way. You know, don't piss him. Invite him to some beers. Okay, question for Javier, please. Up, we have the lady there, if you don't mind. Then we can bounce back. Sorry.
Thank you. What's exactly the revenue model you're applying?
Well, we charge only for the valid vulnerabilities that we find, and it's according to their severity. If we find a critical vulnerability, we charge more, and depending on the impact on the business, we charge one price or another. We then give a proposal for each client according to their impact. It's not the same to find a vulnerability in a bank than a small startup or a medium-sized company. So according to the impact of the vulnerability, we charge them.
So you're taking a share of the fee?
Sorry?
So you're taking a share of the fee? Because like the hackers also like...
Yes. We take 3% of the vulnerability for us. And also we have, when we start working with a client, a fixed audit, just one-off when we start. And then it's just all variable.
Okay, go back there.
Thank you for your presentation again. I hope that humanity shall prevail against AI, but at the same time, like OpenAI, Anthropic, all of them are developing like this trendy cybersecurity AI models. Are you not going to take advantage of them and integrate them with your solution, like a combination human AI? I don't know. Shouldn't be a fight, right?
Yes. Maybe it's a solution that we can even create some AI, but at the moment it's not where the business is going, because I believe AI is going to take the audits that go by price, that they go for the best price, that the cheapest clients, they will go with AI. That's right, but clients that want to get tested for the whole year, I think that will remain with hackers, because Anthropic at the moment have a program that pays for vulnerabilities, and they are the ones that are creating methods and everything. I think it will always affect us, but we don't go for the clients that go with cheap consultancy firms. At the moment, no. Maybe in the future.
Okay. Well, big applause to Javier. Thank you very much. And now we're flying all the way to Brazil. I'm just curious, who here knows a company that's called Harvey AI? Anyone? Wow, a lot of people. Very cool. So this has been something very interesting. I'm one of the evaluators at South Summit. Like I'm the first evaluator, so I received thousands. The team receives thousands. And one of the trends we've seen is that there's an increasing, let's say, tsunami of AI being deployed in the legal profession. So judiciary, legal, deployments of AI agents in the legal profession, they're on the rise dramatically this year. But it's interesting because the more information you move, it's not just about AI. It's also about how do you support the infrastructure that runs under that. So to talk about that, the difference between the picks and axles, right, and the actual thing, is our next startup, where they literally build the data infrastructure that enables these companies like Harvey AI to actually build and do what they can do. So please welcome our last startup of the block. Big applause to Fabrizio Sanfelice, CEO of Judith.
So, can you imagine how hard it is? You probably hear everyone has a lawsuit, or will have, unfortunately, a lawsuit. But this information that's very important, and everyone wants to access that for different reasons, are very hard to find. But this starts to change. I'm bringing here some information about the Brazilian judicial system, which is my country. It's a mess. It's more than 100 million lawsuits spread everywhere, different court systems, different websites, different platforms of information, with completely total lack of standardization of this information. And this kind of solution, this kind of problem, affects everyone. Can you imagine how hard it would be to build a fintech without a bank API? That's where every legal tech, every law company is facing right now because of this. And this is a problem not only in Brazil. This is happening everywhere. This is happening in the United States, happening in Mexico, and happening here in Europe and Spain. So we're changing that. We start to build the infrastructure for this. We start from the ground up, build a proprietary technology that allows us to mining and aggregate information from different court systems all in one place. More than 500 million lawsuits indexed about every person and every company. All of this layered in the way so companies can build a solution not worrying about infrastructure, about the data. We have the data, and we provide them to build that. So we distribute the service through our API to all different cases of use, from banks, fintechs, law firms. Everyone needs this kind of data. So if you're a bank, you need to score 2 million persons, you can use our API. We're going to do a background checking, deliver all information about the lawsuits. If you're a law firm, you want to automate the process, we have the API for that. If you are an AI startup, you need to train your model. So we provide this kind of technology, we provide this kind of information. So, but we are doing much more than that. Our main goal is to build the legal footprint, the legal identity. So we're putting together all this information in the same place, structured in one simple view, so everyone, wherever they are, in Brazil or not, they can access legal data and have all this information right away. So what's LinkedIn, for example, do for professional profiling, we are doing for legal profiling to put all this information together. And this is not just a dream. We are already operating. We are the data provider for the Brazilian Stock Exchange, for the American Consulate, for top firms, law firms in Brazil. And the numbers have shown that we are being successful on that. In less than 24 months, we launched the company. We're already doing 1 billion revenue yearly and onboard more than 300 corporate clients. And we only did that because we have an amazing team with different approach, different backgrounds, but who complete each other. From AI, I'm a lawyer, from AI technology, product, and legal AI. So we are here looking for strategic partners and people who want to join around. We come so far almost.
And you can hug me and keep finishing and say thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fabrizio. Okay, questions for Judith. Judges, there we go.
Hi, thank you very much, and I hope that you actually are successful, because I think justice is clearly one of the most important institutions for the citizen, right? So, but my question is twofold. Number one, outside of Brazil, how easy it is for you guys to actually deploy this, say in Europe? And then the second question is, do you think that the state, the governments, will allow you to be profiling judges and getting all the access to the data? Because I believe in Spain, actually, the Ministry of Justice actually sells this data, and they don't want anybody else to have it because they make money from it. So how are you going to address that?
So in Brazil, we manage that because we have a legal and specific interest in having that information. If you need to do a QIC, QIB, any kind of information, you have to have access to that. So we work with this kind of approach about how to get this data. And we are building this already. Of course, there is different problems in different countries. Brazil is amazing, it's huge, because it's a very good start for us. We know that probably in Europe we're going to have different challenges, but the idea is a way that we can segregate and aggregate all this information so that we can actually build this information not only about person, but also about judges, about court, and interact with this data more easily than it is right now that is completely spread and inaccessible.